I want to fire a warning shot to beware of marginal time. Hey, it's Scott Beebe with the Business on Purpose podcast, where we exist to do one thing, and that's to liberate you, the small business owner, from the chaos of working in their business. Yesterday was a powerful day, an interesting day. Had the opportunity to sit down with a number of our clients, and one in particular we sat down with, and when we got started in on the next step of our 4 steps to business freedom, this particular business owner looks at me and says, "Hey, I wonder if we can refocus a little bit." And I said, "Absolutely. What do you feel like is out of focus?" And we got to drilling down on it, and basically what came out was there was anxiety emerging through the things that were being developed within their business. And so there was this kind of angst, this anxiety that was developing, it was growing. And so we kind of talked through it and talked it out, and the processes were embedding, they were getting drawn out, they were doing a great job of training, they had their weekly schedule, they were doing their team meetings, they were doing everything that we had laid out for them to be able to do. And not only were they doing them, but they were starting to see some results. And the more we got to talking, we started to drill in on that one thing. And what we ended up landing on, and what the business owner agreed to, the anxiety that they were feeling had more to do with the marginal time that was being freed up because of the process that was implemented than it had to do with anything else. And so what they had said from the outset is maybe they were anxious because they felt like they were embedding process, asking other people to do things, and they didn't want to feel that restriction of those boundaries. And I thought it was a very insightful idea. The problem is the overwhelming majority of people in our experience who are not business owners actually appreciate the boundaries, especially when those boundaries are in line with their unique values. And so they appreciate those boundaries. Now, nobody wants to be, dictatorially told what to do, but that's not at all what was happening in this situation. What was going on here is, as process would be visioned out, the team would be brought in to help build out the process, and they could buy in and they could own it, and lo and behold, it was working, and things were building, things were growing, things were developing, and the owner was starting to experience marginal time. And what marginal time is let's imagine today as the way that your business is laid out, that you're working 50 hours a week or 60 hours a week or whatever, and you start to embed vision and mission and values and systems and processes, and you got your team meetings and your huddles, and you got your weekly schedules, and you got your level 2 dashboards, and you're beginning to track things, and you're flying your plane from a dashboard, from a cockpit. Well, lo and behold, you're not going to have to spend 50 to 60 hours a week to maintain that. You might only have to spend 40 or 45 or 48 or whatever it might be. And you realize every given week, all of a sudden, you've got an additional 4 hours or 8 hours or 9 hours. And because you've been laboring so hard in the business, when that time comes, it feels kind of weird. And in fact, for many, it can feel a little bit scary. And so you've got options when marginal time comes. Hands down, what most people do with marginal time is they backfill it with more busy work. Now, obviously, I don't want you to do that, but that is the bias. When you get more time, you backfill it with more busy work. The second option is when you get more free time, you backfill it with trying to fill these urges in your life, and all of a sudden, a man will find a new girlfriend, or a lady will find a new boyfriend, and that's a little bit extreme, but not really. And we call it midlife crisis. Well, a lot of times, what's happened is midlife is where a man or a woman has started to kind of hit a stride. They've started to kind of hit a level of success that they didn't see when they were 20. I know there are rare exceptions, but they are the exception to the rule, the Mark Zuckerbergs, etc. For the rest of us, we tend to kind of hit this stride in our late 30s, 40s, maybe even early 50s. And all of a sudden we look around, we might have a little bit of disposable income, might have a little bit of marginal time, and we go, wow. And we lose sense of discipline, and we begin to backfill it with things that don't matter. In fact, things that are going to sabotage that success down the road. The other option is that you take that marginal time and you reinvest. You reinvest the time. So for instance, let's say you work 50 hours a week now, and you free up 10 hours a week of marginal time. Well, part of your reinvestment of that time might be to your family. And say, you know what, I want to start taking my wife out to lunch once a week. There's an hour of time that you're going to reinvest back into your family. I recently was out to lunch with a local business owner, and I saw a guy who has just recently left a situation where he's working 7 days a week, no marginal time, and he's moved into a situation where now he's working 5 to 6 days a week, and he's got lots of marginal time relative to what he had. And so you could see the joy on his face because he was out to lunch with his family. Well, for years, he's never been able to be out to lunch with his family. And so that was really, really fun to watch, to be able to see that. But he's reinvesting that time with his family. My question is for you. As you listen to this podcast, as you invest time into vision and mission and values, systems and processes, as you read books, as you're doing the things that responsible, relevant business owners begin to invest in their business, what are you going to do with the marginal time? Because it's coming. And I want you to be aware of it. Because when it comes, I want you to celebrate and reinvest. Celebrate and reinvest. And when you do that, you will feel that liberation from the chaos of working in your business. Don't feel like you've got any marginal time? Well, you got to draw it out. First place to start your vision, mybusinessonpurpose.com/vision. It's all right there for you, ready to rock and roll. And we're there to serve you. All you got to put in is the time and effort. Hey, that's the first place you can reinvest some time. So we'll see you there. And then, of course, we'll see you here next time on the Business on Purpose podcast.